Hey guys, welcome back. It's Grimreaper coming at you for another video for Raidshadowlegends. Hopefully you're doing well and looking after yourselves. Hopefully you're having a great start to the week. Hopefully you had a great weekend. Hopefully your sharp pulls, RNG were really good. So yeah, let me down know in the comments, who did you pull on the weekend? Did you open any shards? Did you open any shards? Are you going for Lady Makagi? And the most important question, what do you think about the jewels? Now, I don't want to get into it too much, but I think for me, the jewels is a really good thing. For most people, I feel like it's just a benefit additional, and then the numbers are slightly better than the current soul system right now in Raidshadowlegends. Just hopefully there will be more easiest ways to access these resources other than trying to get it from winning top 3, which is where it currently is right now. So definitely be interesting to see how Plarium use that to their advantage. Now, I want to get into today's videos. Could be a champion showcase on one of my favorite champions from the visual side and talk about where he is a very niche champion and one of the 3 champions as well that we access from Raidshadowlegends in-game champion, which is going to be him. I've had him for a while. We've had Quintus. I've had him for about 3 months now, but I just haven't had time to book him. Obviously, C vs C is on the horizon right now, so I have booked him and we've mastered him, etc., etc., and then etc., more or less of that. So let's start with the kit. I will add tags down in the below and timestamps if you want to go ahead and skip this if you're already aware of his kit and stuff like that. So first of all, look at his base stacks. Attack is really decent of 1600, speed is fairly average of 105. So 105 is on the higher end of the speed, which is pretty nice. So we have the E1, it will attack one enemy, places an extra hit if the target has no buffs. If this attack is critical, it will repeat the attack once. So it's basically saying that it's going to be a extra turn if there's no buffs, which is super cool. Could be a nice little A1 for Rhodas. Pretty average A1, I believe. I don't think it's anything special, so pretty standard. So on the A2, attack one enemy, remove all buffs, then places a decreased defense for the target for 2 turns before attacking. These vets cannot be resisted or blocked. Now, I've had played with this a little bit against Stoneskin, and it seems to be only like the 50% chance of being able to strip the Stoneskin, so it's been quite fun to do that. Now, I'm not too sure if this requires accuracy or anything like that. I do need to do some testing and stuff, but it generally looks like we don't need to put any accuracy. Let me down in the comments below. Damage inflicted by the skill cannot be decreased by enemy passive skills or masteries except from the passive skills of the bosses. Damage inflicted by this boss cannot be increased by either this champion's masteries or allies' passive skills, except when attacking bosses. Resets the cooldown of the crowd favorite skill if this attack is a kills a enemy, which is super nice. This does hit fairly hard in all fairness, and I do like the strip. The only problem for me is the defense down because it's like a sheep magnet and this can kind of affect him. So nice A2 ability there. It's on a 3-turn cooldown, and I'm always a big fan of like self buffing and stuff like that, and being able to reset your cooldowns, right, which is super nice as long as you hit hard enough. Anyway, attack all enemies will place a increased attack and critical damage buff on his champion for 3 turns before attacking. Reset the cooldown of the strip away skill if this kills a enemy. So if you build him correctly, as long as he hits hard enough, he will basically move between the A2 and A3 very consistency. Obviously with increased attack, we don't need to bring up to the battle, so this will allow you to bring a extra support champion or CC champion for your battles, depending on your team setups and stuff like that. Extra critical damage buff is always super nice, a bit rare. I kind of want a little bit more on this ability, in all fairness. Like, the cooldown is really nice. I know it sounds greedy to say I want a little bit more for this, but in a day, he's a super hard champion to get. You put in a lot of work, a lot of grind, a lot of resources. So I think like asking for a little bit more from what I'm reading right now is I don't feel is too much, right? So for me, there's like two adjustments I'd make to his kit. For the E3, I'd put a 30% critical rate on there as well, so you can build him with 70% critical rate on all his abilities. I do like how it's on for 3 turns, which is super cool. And I do like how he puts on before he attacks. So for me, that's like the only change I'd make to the A3. And then I'd probably add like a 25% ignore defense as well, in all fairness. Would that make him slightly OP? Yes, but he is, like I said, super hard champion. For this, I would like this to be able to ignore Stone Skin. Like just the one single attack enemy to ignore Stone Skin. Like Georgie, he's a void legendary in the day. You need Barons to empower him, so not a lot of people are going to feed Barons into him, because Baron is a very good champion and arguably is still a better champion overall, dependent on the team concept. So yeah, really interesting champion overall. We have got a passive ability as well, so each of this champion skill deals additional pure damage for the amount of pure damage dealt to equivalent to 10% of the target's max HP for each buff on them. This additional pure damage will ignore shields buffs as well. So it will ignore shields. It does work against, like, it's really good against high buff teams like Ursula, Warcaller, Necrid, Duchess, Liditude, and stuff like that. So yeah. Anyway, let's go and do a damage test in Dragon on normal, and let's see his numbers, and then we'll take him into the arena for the play testing. Okay, so some lovely stuff here. We're gonna go and do a damage test on Dragon 23. So let's go ahead and do this and see what we are doing. So we're gonna start with increase attack, defense down and a weaken, and probably some slight hex and stuff like that. Now let's take a look at his numbers. We can start with the A3. Obviously he does a critical damage buff as well, so hopefully we can one-shot some people in this wave. Let's go ahead. About 170, 220 across the board. Not too shabby. Let's go ahead and take a look for the A2 as well, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, the A2 is basically the hardest hitter here. So we're going to go ahead, pop. Gonna do this. We will hit Renegade because we love hitting the free-to-play reset. 270. That is a big damage on an A2. A2 definitely hits harder than the E1. Let's go ahead, check out the the A3, which is what I meant to say. Let's go ahead, check out the A1 quickly. So if I'm not mistaken, we should get a 2-hitter because there's no buffs. Let's go for her. 1, 2, 3. Okay, cool. So I did misread the A1. It looks like he just got extra hit there because he crit, so it's actually a 3-hitter if there's no buff. So does that mean it's a 2-hitter when there's no buffs? I'm not too sure. Anyway, super nice numbers on the A2. Kind of want a little bit more on the A3, but can't complain with that too much. Anyway, let's go into arena and then check out that and how he's doing in the arena. Okay, so we are back. We're going to go ahead and do some testing and see what my initial thoughts has done. So I think overall, like with the damage test, not too shabby on A2, a really good multiplier, and then on E3 is kind of like average in all fairness. Kind of wish it hit a bit harder, which is my first thinking right now. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at this team. As long as we're faster, we will win. We're gonna stay away from the sheep heaven team because I don't fancy playing Sheepville today. I only want to play Raidshadowlegends. So I will be staying away from the heavy sheep team, or probably anything that I finds too fast and stuff like that. So let's do AoE stun here and stuff like that. Now we can see that there isn't really any buffs set from the divine shield or divine speed or something like that. So we won't be taking in the full effect of the passive. I do feel like opening the A3 is probably like the best thing to do 90% of the time, because obviously the increased attack, increased critical damage, which is super nice. And obviously we're not using Arbiter right now, so let's go ahead. I think we got like 80k across the board there, which is okay, you know, like it is what it is. Obviously we haven't got any passive damage going on right now because there wasn't any extra damage there. So there was something it's kind of cool that I've worked out um with his kit with the A2, and that's been able to have that 50-50% chance of removing stone skin, which is hopefully what I'm going to show you here right now. So obviously we have lightning cage and monkey, which helps increase damage of 10% on his passive, and then we also have stone skin and the extra buff there. But if we remove the stone skin, it'll only be the one buff that we'll probably take into that consideration. So that's one thing we need to take in consideration. Obviously lightning cage works as a buff, so we're actually going to start with A2 here, try and strip that stone skin off there, off Heffrak, and see what we can do. So unfortunately we're not successful, so it means we're going to go on my way with everything else and to move into this. Now the bolster protects us against Heffrak, so I don't need to worry too much and stuff like that. So we should come back round to all our fun abilities. Evrak is obviously going to get Sifi, and we're going to basically clap everything there. So I think we're seeing like 151 to official, like 151 to like 70k there on the A3. We have Mafala actually, which will basically put buffs up throughout his fight, which will mean that we have to deal with that as well. And it's also be extra damage. So let's see if we can try again with our A2. Hopefully. No? Okay, cool. Not doing what we want to do. Obviously, I got this to work on a UDK before we recorded, so that's something where we need to look at. So we've got 2 buffs there, a monkey, 2 on him, and 3 on Mafala. Obviously, we're not going to break through Stone Skin. He's not hitting that hard, unfortunately. Would be quite cool if it was. We're going to go ahead and do that there. And then we're basically waiting for the filer to do a thing. Now, I would go ahead and hit auto, but I do not want to sheep for any reason if we don't need to. Monkey is going to go ahead and be a monkey there. So we're going to go ahead and drop his turn meter. And then, funny enough, we're going to take all the buffs there. Now, you can use it for Bafala maybe as well, but she's already stunned, so I'm probably going to sheep Monkey when he comes back up, just so he doesn't kill me, because this will slow him down by quite a bit, which is something we do not want. Here we go. We won't get the increased attack, but it's enough. So without the increased attack, we had a 30k damage, which is honestly underwhelming against the Mafala. We did have 60k against the Monkey, which is attack base. You know, like it is what it is, right? Obviously, I would like to test in Harmony, but to be honest, it's like 3 sheep there. So I'll probably end up getting sheeped before I'd even kill him. We do have the King Queen, but it's very difficult to take it on with the UDK. The UDK just kind of affects us a little bit. In Harmony, not really built correctly this team to kind of take on. We do want a half decent team. I don't think we should be taking mythicals on with this one. Brackus, who I normally do videos on his account. We do have the King Queen here with Taurus Kamarishka. We have a little bit of sheep, or we got quite a bit of sheep actually. It's just the sheep that puts me off, really, because if I get sheep, then it's like got no chance of really like winning, if I'm honest. you just get sheeped. So sheepified is not what we want for today's video. We do have 1, 2. Yeah, there's just not any ideal teams to kind of take on. I'm going to take this team on. We just said we weren't going to take them on because they're sheep. Let's see what happens with this, right? So let's see what happens. Obviously, we deal with the fear. We're going to do AoE stun. Now, we need to be careful, obviously, of Taurus for this reason. I'm actually going to go ahead and sheep him. There's no point doing an E3 really because of how it's going to work. Either so, King Queen is just kind of going to screw us up, but we do remove the stone skin there on the E2, and we did like 130k and one-shot that Queen, which honestly is quite good. Now, this player is a very good player. I know this player like quite well from back in the day. Was in Gallifrey together and stuff like that. When originally how Hades and people like that were in the same group and stuff like that. So yeah, it's kind of brings back some memories there. Then we do another 130k there. We do wake up Taurus and get counter-attacked. So that's something to kind of take into consideration. We will get sheeped there, which is generally the reason why I didn't want to do this. But we can take on Mariska for now. And then deal with. I've heard that this champion is very good against Taurus and Mariska, to be honest. So this is my first time like really taking them on. So that's quite, I think that's quite good, to be fair. Like we got 30k on Mariska, basically one shot, right? Which I feel like is pretty good. Obviously if we wasn't sheep there, probably would come in with AoE stun and be able to finish this up. But we're gonna come in and get nuked because we got sheeped. We got nuked, right? Which is unfortunately the problem with sheep in raid. So yeah, I feel like yeah, we definitely do win that if we wasn't worrying about the sheep and stuff like that. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and have a look at this team. And basically, Trunda, old school queen of the arena. Now she is the queen of the Hydra and that type of world. So let's go ahead, take him out and stuff. I think this will be the last fight from me. And then we will go ahead and take a look at his kit and the ideal masteries and stuff like that. So we go ahead and take out everyone here, more or less. Got 2 out of 3. That's what I mean. I just think like a slight bit more damage there will be better. Maybe you do want more buffs, so his E3 hits harder. Maybe that's the way to go. Anyway, let's go and take a look at his build. We have done I feel like we've done injustice against him again for the arena here. Let's go take a look at his build, etc. Be right back. Okay, so here we go. Here is his build. We are using a 6-piece merciless, as you've probably seen a few times on my channel. I did really put in one of my best sets of damage dealing gear in raid right now, so that's one thing that is kind of a bit worrying as well, because we didn't put him in really good gear, and I kind of feel like that E3 was just slightly underwhelming. So anyway, let's have a look at his kit. So we have a attack banner here with attack substat. We have critical damage with ascended, so obviously we're going out with full maximum damage. We have attack substat with attack percentage, speed, attack chest with attack percentage, critical damage with critical damage percentage, and then critical rate and speed across the board. For the blessings, I think Harvest Cast is the way to go for him because he does buff himself up naturally. So I do feel this is the best one for him for arena. I'd probably say I think there's a few people use him in Hydra and stuff like that. And like boss on Curse City for the 2 rotations. So I generally would say that's something to kind of look at as well. where I'd probably go cruelty or crushing ram for them type of content. Let's take a look at masteries. I'm gonna be honest here. I don't feel that these are the best masteries for him right now. I do need to do some more play testing, so you probably want to do some changes to yourself for masteries. So for me, we have shield breaker, we have the Well of Death. For me, Ruthless Ambush comes in, and then Cycle of Violence, because he's inflicting so much damage. We want to try and get background on that. Obviously, the Merciless set will help as well with the cooldown. We're going to use Optimistic because we was running AoE stun, and obviously how strong right now the fusion is, or the formal fusion now in arena. This kind of just makes sense to take on most Manuka, especially for live arena. Then we've got Hammer Smasher and then Retribution for that E1. Now let's go ahead and kind of just point out a few things. So let's go ahead and look at stats. For Classic Arena, I think the average speed you want is basically 190 to 210, which is what I generally try and build on most accounts now for Classic and 3 versus 3. For Live Arena, for Gold 3 stats, I would say you need to be minimum of 250 speed. Right now, we are packing 303 critical damage. You obviously will buff yourself up to 340 33 or something like that. So, and then we have got the tag of 6,773. Bearing in mind, we've only got the level 1 blessing, so we are missing the 7,750 attack. We are missing the level 4 blessing, which would obviously take me close to nearly just under 400 critical damage with the right build. So maybe that's something that I will look into by getting a few blessings and stuff like that. So obviously HP and stuff like that doesn't really matter. So that's it from me on this. Just a quick one as well. In the time of me recording this video today, I have been confirmed as a official content creator for Raidshadowlegends as a tier 2. So we actually have hit a massive milestone, which will be great for you guys as well, because that obviously brings giveaways, etc. So a big thank you for all the support, and I'm really happy about the milestone. Obviously, I got the Cardial now avatar, which is one of my favorite champions in Raidshadowlegends. I've been using it for a very long time, so it is a nice perk to that. So again, big thank you, and now the grind to the tier 3, and hopefully get access to the test server where we can play with more comps and do more stuff like this, and actually post way more videos and stuff like that. So again, big thank you out for my YouTube community. It's been a massive game changer for this one. Anyway, thank you for the watching to the end. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you tomorrow for tomorrow daily up to. I've been Grimreaper. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.